Speaking of my beloved black and red, here's some comments from their manager, Wayne Rooney, on DC United's approach to the Open Cup. Quote, "I was confused as to why we didn't bid to host, and then we got what we deserved, ultimately playing at a university on a terrible synthetic pitch. So once that was the case, I was never going to risk my starting team." Credit to Steve Goff of the Washington Post for sharing that quote with us. Herc, should Rooney get lost?
Oh, man, I would love to tell him to get lost because it's of the vein of Don Garber, his comments completely thrashing the Open Cup. And we love the Open Cup here. But there is a reality. There's a trend going on. Not very many teams are seeing the value of playing in the Open Cup. Much like Don Garber said, he doesn't mind his product not being shown or showcased with the little fields, the little crowds, I should say, the synthetic fields, the bad camera angles, et cetera, et cetera. Well, coaches don't want to put their players in danger if they're playing on high school synthetic fields. That's the reality. It is what it is. There seems to be this train of thought that it's not worth playing in the Open Cup. Now there's a train of thought there's not even worth hosting a game in the Open Cup. So if you're an owner of this team, you got to think of, well, how much does it actually cost for me to host this game, and what will I get out of it? Who will show up? What will concessions be like? What will parking be like? Et cetera, et cetera. What are these expenses like? It's just not worth it for these clubs, and I don't like it, but I don't know how to tell them to get lost.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell them to get lost. I don't like DC United's approach to the Open Cup, right? I would love them to take it a little bit more seriously, no matter where you're playing. We all remember 2013 when the team was absolutely terrible and they salvaged a season and maybe Ben Olsen's managerial career with an Open Cup run. I want this team to take the Open Cup seriously, and when one of your DPs is at the Celtics-Sixers game, Mateusz Klich, the guy they just signed from Leeds, it doesn't send a message that you're taking the Open Cup seriously. That said, Herc, I do like more of what Rooney is saying here than I dislike that one part of it. Because I think he's calling out some people. He's calling out the New York Red Bulls. Why aren't you playing in your arena that you own? Why are we playing at Montclair State? And he's also calling out DC United management. He's saying, why didn't we bid to host? And if people want to have a shot at Rooney here and say, well, why don't you take the Open Cup more seriously? He's just taking the cues from his bosses. Herc, his bosses didn't even bid. What's he supposed to do?
Well, I think he is taking it seriously. I mean, a player's health is serious, right? So I think that is serious. Now, I want to piggyback off something you said. You talked about DC United's terrible season when they actually did well in the Open Cup. Look at the LA Galaxy right now. The LA Galaxy are a dumpster fire, and they're watching their most bitter rival, their hated rival, play. They're about to play in the CONCACAF Champions League final. Now, it took LAFC 34 games in the regular season, plus however many playoff games and penalty kicks against Philadelphia Union to get into that tournament. The LA Galaxy right now have an opportunity in their eyes, the silver lining of this is a terrible season for us. We can't make any moves, but we can win some silverware. And not only can we win some silverware, a trophy, but in the process of winning this trophy, we can get to the CONCACAF Champions League in 7 games. That to me is taking it seriously. That to me should be the mindset of every single team that probably has no business sniffing around an MLS Cup. This is your way of getting a trophy and getting to the promised land, the CONCACAF Champions League. So you can use this to your advantage, as you were saying.
Yeah, and from a DC United perspective now, all the pressure's on the regular season, right? You got to make playoffs. You don't have an Open Cup to maybe alleviate some of that pressure.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week, subscribe to ESPN+.